Is beat leasing officially dead in 2025? With producers fighting for the same sales and YouTube type beats being oversaturated, a lot of people are saying it's impossible to make money from selling beats anymore. But is that really the truth? In this video, I'm breaking down the reality of beat leasing in 2025. What's changed, why some producers are making $10,000 plus a month while others struggle, and whether or not you should still be leasing beats today. Let's get into it. So let's start with the pros of beat leasing. The first being its scalability. This scalability comes from being able to sell the same beat multiple times without having to give away full rights to it. Obviously, as long as you're not selling away exclusives all the time, which is why you should price your exclusives accordingly. Yes, they're expensive, but they should be. And I'm sure you will put some people off when you say how much they are, but you shouldn't just lower the price to meet whatever they can pay, because that significantly devalues you, your brand, and your music. Of course, negotiate and work with their budget, but if it means lowering your price to $300 less, then you've really got to consider whether it's worth it. Because, as we're talking about beat leasing, that beat can sit there for years and years and be found by people 5 years down the line, when maybe you've got a larger audience or you've got a bit more traction on your beats, and you can start selling beats that are years old and could have been selling multiple times over the course of those few years. So it's important to keep that in mind. Another pro related to the previous one is that there's opportunity for passive income. Now, I know that's a bit of a gimmicky word at the moment, but it's more the flexibility that you can gain from beat leasing if it works. A beat you made once can keep selling, as we said. It means you can have freedom with your schedule over when you make music, how much you make, and gives the foundation for you to be able to explore other sources of income from your music. The next pro is that the market is huge and really diverse. So many independent artists rely on beat leasing instead of buying exclusives, because obviously it's more in line with their budget, it's more affordable. The amount of type beats that are bought on a daily basis is huge, and importantly, the range of beats is vast. Some producers will be leasing a country instrumental, others will be leasing a dark trap type beat, others will be leasing a 90s R&B type beat. There's a demand for so many different styles of beats, which kind of caters for whatever music you want to make. Another pro is that you can use social media to boost your chances of leasing beats. Beatmakers and producers are blowing up on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and it's a free promotional tool that allows you to shine a light on you and your music. The final pro that I'll share in this video, there are many more, but I'll stick to just this last one, is that beat leasing has a lower barrier of entry and easier accessibility than something like getting major placements with artists. You don't have to rely on your contacts, a label, an A&R. However, this links to the cons of beat leasing because it's meant that loads of people have decided to upload their beats to marketplaces and try to sell them. And as I'm sure you've heard and you're aware, it's caused a lot of oversaturation. So this first negative, oversaturation, is a result of too many producers competing in the same type beat space. Now, of course, this makes it a lot harder to make sales, but it's just what comes with modern accessibility to music. It's the same with Spotify and streaming platforms and just music in general. There's so much more music released now every day than there ever has been. However, if you listen carefully to what I just said, you would have noticed that I said oversaturation is the result of too many producers competing in the same type beat space. By saying that, I'm inferring that there are specifically some areas of the type beat space which are more saturated than others. What this means is you've got to find those spaces which are less saturated, but at the same time still have a high enough demand, are searched regularly enough, have enough people wanting to buy a beat in that style. How you find these spaces isn't too complicated. It just takes some time looking on platforms like YouTube and BeatStars, but crucially using vidIQ to search for type beat keywords and make note of those type beat keywords which rank highly. The ones that have lower competition, i.e. less saturation, and higher search frequency, i.e. demand. Another con and difficulty with beat selling is that severe price undercutting takes place. Some producers sell leases for dirt cheap or offer ridiculous deals like buy one, get 20 beats free, which obviously is likely to price you out and devalues every other producer by doing so. So I'm not a fan of people doing that, but it's just part of what happens, and it's because people get desperate. I would say don't follow suit. Again, it just puts a bad image on you and your brand and your music and sends the wrong message. If the beats are good enough and people really like and identify with your sound, your beats will sell. They'll pay for that beat, as long as it's not unreasonably expensive. Setting your basic license at $30, $40, even $50 is the most common. Another con of beat leasing is that unfortunately, the beats don't sell themselves. You need branding, ads, consistency, social media presence. You need to figure out a strategy of how you're going to get people to listen to your beats. Whether that's a social media strategy, and maybe it's quite overt in promoting your beats, and it's just you performing them. Or maybe it's a personal brand thing and actually the content isn't specifically targeted towards your beats, but you as a producer, and people get interested in you and the music you make. The final con of beat leasing is that the algorithms of the platforms that you upload your beats to changes, which makes it hard to stay on top of them. Now, it's an easy get out to just blame the algorithm for your beats not performing well or not making any sales, and I have been guilty of that. But you have to remember that everyone's in the same position. Everyone has to deal with the algorithm and try to work with it and promote themselves. Of course, the algorithm is going to favor some type beats better than others, and that might boost specific producers. But that's why you've got to try and find those type beat keywords that are most likely to do that. So is it still worth it? No, if you expect beats to sell themselves without putting any effort in. No, if you don't expect that you will have to change things, experiment, adapt. No, if you aren't willing to be consistent. But yes, it's still worth it if you build a brand, get your marketing right, learn what works and what doesn't, target the right keywords and audience. There is still potential for beat leasing to be successful, and I'm still on the road to make it work myself. And it's not just about working hard and putting loads of hours in. It's about working hard and being well informed, making the right sort of music for the right people. Of course, it's hard right now to stand out in an oversaturated market, so find the pockets of the market which are less saturated and see and study how other producers have become successful with their type beats and how they've managed to stand out. Thank you so much for watching. If this video was helpful, please like and subscribe. That would just mean so much. And join the producer community in the description so we can connect and collaborate. And I'll see you in the next video.